100% does. The question is, it's about how you come into the server. You know, we speak about the size making all the difference. Vertigo, as we saw in that first best of one, it's one of those maps that is generally, the most part, people do see as T-sided, right? Because of the control you can get and how quick it is to execute on towards a site. And because the rotations are so long, the CTs can be caught in that transition. But, you know, it doesn't matter sometimes when your team is just so dominant. Sacramento absolutely flew through that game. It doesn't matter whether it was T-sided or CT-sided. They were dominant start to finish. So maybe it's just about how players come into the server, whether they're warmed up and ready. And of course, well, Martin, they definitely weren't.
Yeah, that's, exactly what you said. A couple of warm-ups here and there. Some teams don't have the time, got other obligations, for instance. And yeah, when it comes to a best of one, you have to be ready immediately. You can't play one map loss and then try and come back on the second one after you're a bit warmed up. It's do or die. And right now they're in the lower brackets waiting for the loser of this matchup to decide which is going to get eliminated first. Of course, two teams per group advance on and two teams get knocked out. And it seems we are about to go live with an opening knife round, as you mentioned.
Yeah, about to get started. Of course, this knife round is quite monumental when it comes to sort of dictating that tempo going forward and sort of the narrative that we like to talk about. The question is, how is it going to get started here? The knife round is a big major factor. And of course, there's many sort of strategies that teams have regarding the knife round.
Yeah, just give them the old yeet run into them, see what happens in the end. But it looks like currently, no idea. It could go either way, still can, but it's eventually going to be Sampi winning the opening knife round. And normally you'd expect them to start on the CT side, but you mentioned it previously as well. Teams don't necessarily always listen to what the standard is. However, this time it is going to be the case. Sampi do choose to start on the CT side.
Yeah, that's going to be that starter, Sampi. They're going for the comfortable pick, and to a degree, sort of understandable. The question is, can they make it work in favor? A strong start in their CT, they want to be able to pull something off there, and well, the question is, will they be able to? Things about to get underway after this very brief tech pause, and I'm looking forward to it. This is a game which is hard to predict, it has to be said.
Yeah, it's always nice to see, some talents that you normally don't get to see perform. I mean, maybe we see a diamond in the rough that could be the next Simple in a couple of years on either of these two teams. And that's always a nice little way of spotting teams. That's why this is such a great tournament, because it's from regions and countries that normally do not get that much of a spotlight. They finally get their chance to show exactly what they're made of and give them a stage as well. Hopefully they'll be able to shine bright and show us some excellent CS. Starts off with a quick push through mid system, opening pick. They run past them, but eventually the Glock's close range will win out the trade. Push towards the site, though. The trades are constantly coming in. The bomb already being planted while the Ts are not even all there just yet. Very quickly done by Content Planet. But yeah, can Sampi even get this retake going?
They're trying to make this retake work. The bomb plot already to a good start, and Questone just trying to make his way out. The flashbang will allow him somewhat of a peak. Second one coming forward, but deleted instantaneously. Koji in the quick position, tapping away as well, and Junie will be on clean-up duties of 3 remaining players. Content Planet, what a start from them, Truman. They get a first round under their belt, a bomb plant as well, and of course that means a pretty comfortable buy to follow suit.
That's a pretty nice way to do it. I mean, that's a lot of confidence as well. You get 2 kills on the T side, but they trade it out immediately. You just rush towards the side, get the bomb plant, make sure that whatever happens, you at least get the $800 for your team. But luckily enough, the rest of the team is also pretty A-okay at aiming, or so I've been told.
Yeah, we're not going to count them out by any means, are we? But double AK setup, 3 MAC-10s, an aggressive sort of buy here. They've gone for the slightly more util heavy buy. Of course, it's such a big factor on T side to gaining a bit of control. That's why we're seeing them go for it. Ellis slowly making his way forward. The sound cue could have been heard, but he has to clear this close angle.
And he does exactly that. Easy pickings, even upgrades his pistol in the process. But towards B, There's a singular player, aka System, with the FAMAS lying in wait. The only solid rifle on the CT side. Unless you, of course, want to call the Scout a solid rifle, but no.
No, not at all. I mean, it's very hit and miss, right? It's you have to be a special player to make that look easy, and well, Zero's looking to be one of those. Deagle not able to connect Elois. Lovely shock. Westone dropped.
They're playing pretty defensive here on the T side. Lying in wait until their opponents are the ones making the mistake. And with that smoke thrown out, there's a flank coming in towards CT spawn. Elos spotted, though, by the Scout. Taken out. It is surprising that they are still waiting so long towards the B bomb site, but finally they're rotating away because, well, they should probably know that the A site is most definitely a lot less guarded.
Yeah, and they're just flooding forward. They know that they can just send their way in. They've already found a couple of openings over here. Bit of damage dealt, and Rocco to find one System answering as well. In fact, doubling down alongside it, making this look so easy, and the A-game's dismantled. Sampi, what a retake.
I'm just baffled at Content Planet's entire plan of attack that round. I mean, they had one player taking 2 CTs down on the A bomb site. Clears out CT completely, walks all the way through towards the backstab of B, and then they, for some reason, wait forever until they actually decide, maybe we should just go A. And then the bomb carrier is the one dying on site, so the bomb gets dropped. They need to recover that. They've got 10 seconds to get the bomb planted. There's no time left. They're starting to stress. One guy has to stick it. The rest has to defend. They go for full peaks against that CT. They start to lose that, and at that point, you just get overwhelmed by sheer numbers, which is strange considering it was a 3 versus 5.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got to give that a slight bit of credit towards Sampi. It was actually really nicely played from them as well. They sort of read that really well. They saw the aggression over towards Banana, but they didn't overcommit to it. Hence why they were able to pull that rotation over. And with the 2 players who were left alone there, the Deagle finding the first, the FAMAS coming in for support, they were able to shut things down. It was actually very nicely played. And Sampi gave themselves an opportunity on a lifeline to tie this game up. And what they've done, in fact, is broken the economy of Content Planet and have left them in quite a tough spot now.
And now, I mean, I assume they can go for an eco, considering one eco, well, after this round, they can go for a full buy on the terrorist side.
Yeah, they want to try and stick around 2K.
Yeah, the tech pause is a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully, we don't actually have nasty issues coming along.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this game over and under in just a second, because so far it's not disappointing, right? These two sides seem quite evenly matched, and it's sort of the battle of the minds at the moment.
Well, it is pretty much the question. Will they be able to get at least anything done on the T side, or will this just be easy cleanup for Sampi? I mean, they picked up 2 nice AKs previous round and saved that FAMAS as well, so they got some decent weapons. Okay, they've got very good weapons, and it shouldn't be too problematic to keep most of their players alive, considering they've got a full set of utility behind it as well.
Yeah, of course, that utility, we mentioned how much of a difference it makes, but we didn't mention it makes such a difference, and Content Planet didn't really utilize it as well as they probably should have, right? They didn't use it in the way that maybe it should have been process. You know, they were in a strong position in terms of the control they had, but the execute was pretty poor. And of course, off the back of that, left them in a tough position trying to find their way on towards that site. At least they got the bomb down, which of course nets them some bit of an economy to work with. You know, Elias can pick himself up at somewhat of a decent buy if he wanted to. It'd be very risky. I expect just a Deagle coming out, small amount, a couple of flashes to allow for a pop execute on towards the site. Well, Sampi, you have to say, they're in a strong position here, and they could really start to get that snowball effect of momentum in their favour.
Yeah, these tech issues seem to be lasting a little bit longer than expected. Hopefully there isn't actually anything really wrong. I just assume someone accidentally punched their monitor broken, so they need a new one.
We've all been there.
Sorry, I have to admit I've never punched my monitor, mainly because I don't want to buy a new one.
No,
And
I'm with you
also
there. Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you need a special kind of rage to be at that point. I do have friends that like broke their desk for some reason.
Yeah, that's something that I don't want to afford to do currently. But another thing I don't want to afford to is Sampi dropping this round, right? They've got a decent buy coming into the next. They're in somewhat of a strong position, but we've already seen teams throw away a pretty comfortable buy against Pistols. So when it comes down to it, I'm not going to count them out by any means. Still we wait.
Awesome
Hopefully the
movement,
tech pause.
but
Yeah,
it's gone.
hopefully it's over and under. I'm unsure what it is as well, which is the worst part. We've got to speculate.
I'm gonna go with someone spilled
Yeah,
water on
me.
their keyboard.
That's quite a good one, actually. I actually did that the other day. It was very annoying.
I did that with this weekend actually with a glass of Fanta. So everything was sticky on my desk, and it was
Oh, that's
hell.
the worst bit. Well, 1-1 we sit at currently. Hopefully this game getting back underway. I think we've been given the all clear that I should be back on our screens momentarily. Sampi in somewhat of a driving position. It's just the question of can they keep it going?
I mean, I definitely do expect great things from them. But yeah. Okay, so let's go over to what players are we going to keep close attention to this game? Like, who is your play? Of course, Questone we know, and Darber as well. But on the side of Content Planet, who do you think is going to be the best player on that team?
They're a tough one, right? Content Planet are a sort of a slightly unknown entity. I think they need to first of all, they need a brilliant start coming into this, but it's the fun to call. I'm liking so far what I've seen from a couple of players. Junior, a prime example. He's been pretty good at isolating fights, but can he keep up the consistency is the real question. But that's a pew of a nade. Rock, got the 17 already.
Yeah, that's the toss down mid lane, and complete bit of a surprise there from Rock, who tried to go for the early quick peek. Right now, there's only one player that's at loose with some body armor. And the rest of the team, some Deagles bought up, but that's about it. Not even a single flash for the T side, which I think is... I'd rather Elus not go for body armor and get a flash and get a smoke, just so that they can cross in better and get some advantage going on. Because it's pretty tough dry peeking against rifles. Oof. Yeah, this is easy cleanup coming through. Surish chimes in for the last pick. That's Sampi with a clean sweep, not even taking a single point of damage. Building that bank fairly neatly.
Fairly neatly indeed. Questone showing what he does best. Just easy pickings for him. And, well, in doing so, left them in somewhat of a strong position now. A 2-1 scoreline. They didn't throw away that full buy, and it wasn't made expensive really at all by Content Planet. So, in that sense, Sampi have kept that long-term economy building up, which is the important bit, isn't it? That long-term economy sort of dictates momentum for quite a big standing.
And well, with Uni now on the Mac 10, that's a little bit unfortunate. Doesn't have a full spread of utility behind him, though, even though he's still at $650 to work with. There's a bit of a banana play coming up between the two sides. Utility toss over, which favors the CT side, heavily considering Libera's HP. Right now, Content Planet, it looks like there are a lot more. I mean, the first round was very aggressive, and then the last two rounds have been pretty much playing the waiting game, hoping that Sampi are the ones going for the peak themselves.
Yeah, that has been the playstyle so far, right? Quite passive in that sense. And Content Planet with this full buy, it's one of which can be quite nerve-wracking. If they failure to convert it, leads to them being in that broken economy again. Questone waiting for the flash coming through. It's brilliant. Finds an opener. Stunning stuff and information on the second. He's going to re-peek. He wants this fight. And just the crossfire is too strong. Bomb dropped. Libra falls, and it's Junie left all alone in a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, Questone again easily picks up a triple kill, top fragging for his team all of a sudden. And it's a solo Uni towards the B bomb site. But what does it matter if you clear and control B bomb site? If you don't have the bomb, there's nothing that you can do. And with 20 seconds left, all he can muster is save the AK in towards the next round. That's going to be Sampi on towards 3. And Content Planet will be on that ego, especially considering Juni's economic state. It's going to be a little bit of a wonky situation for Content Planet.
Yeah, of course, Judy just trying to keep that AK taken across. He won't be hunted to a point where it's going to go down. So at least that's a positive start in that sense. A silver lining, but not the greatest. Sampi on a 3-1. And well, just that, we're going to see attack pause called. Actually, the attack pause called by Sampi. They want to sort of keep this momentum in their favor, keep it trucking across.
Questone perfectly timing it as well, waiting for his teammate to start shooting, and then, well, you know, baiting his teammate's death for his own kills. That's the way the game works. You gotta play the bait and switch game, and he played it perfectly. Right now, Content Planet, economically speaking, they've got that hero AK. The rest of them bought a little bit behind it. Actually, a little bit more than I would have anticipated. But, yeah, let's see if the T side can get anything more done. We're already on the second tactical pause being used by one of the teams. I think it's Content Planet side, though, but I don't necessarily know.
Yeah, this time might be, yeah, a second cause. They're really trying to figure out some sort of tactic here. But, of course, for Content Planet, it is a pretty tough situation for them, right? Just that AK coming in, supported by upgraded pistols, and you can't expect too much of them. The biggest thing they're going to have to try and utilize is maybe a bit of utility. Hence what we're seeing with Juni. Got the double flash one smoke, and he's going to try and pop himself into a solo execute, really.
Yeah, let's see. We've got no AWPs being picked up just yet in this game. So also a nice little bit of a question who's going to be the opper on both sides. And how are they going to be able to perform? It's going to be a bit of a heavy apps presence, which not all teams tend to go for, but they're looking to just go for a straight waterfall play. Darber gets caught, completely blinded by the flash, needs to control his aim, but eventually gets overwhelmed by the pistols. Questone trying to chime in as well, but there's Libra with the kill. Juni catches the play jumping across, and it's all of a sudden onto System in a 1v2. Has an AK, but so does Juni, and Libra trying to get himself in a solid position to pick up a rifle on the bomb site. But unfortunately, nothing to be gained for him right now, but System is creeping in fairly aggressively. Might be able to get a good surprise going against Juni. If he gets that kill, puts Libra in a 1v1 with no upgraded weapon except for that pistol. Though System doesn't even have to peek. He can just wait until Juni walks towards the site to go for the bomb plant.
Yeah, System now, again, trying to isolate the fights here, but he's spotted out by Juni. And the one hero AK is good enough for Content Planet to make it work. Sampi, I feel like they threw that one away. That's a round which comfortably should have gone in their favor, and they overextended. They gave 3 kills over towards Content Planet, and credit to Content Planet as well for exposing it. They looked for those fights, and they utilized it brilliantly.
Now that's a bit of a surprise coming through. Sampi just getting completely caught off guard towards that A bomb site. A quick rush out from balcony, and no idea what they had to do. Zurus, however, this time with the AWP, this is some very aggressive opping coming through from the Sampi right, well, opper. Can he find anyone? This is also very dangerous. Ooh, takes a nasty nade. Down to 44 HP he goes. That's a painful blow. So, luckily enough, he is an opper, so the difference doesn't mean that much.
Yeah, they're not going to take too much away from it. Zurus is, for the time being, it's okay. You know, Bogdan's law, he's abiding by it. He's kept that up in hand. But again, Sampi.Tipsport just seem to be pushed further and further back on towards the site, which is, of course, not the sort of situation you want to be in.
Well, Rutko gets himself first, smokes off any possible push, but Content Planet, not a team that, I mean, on an eco or the pistol, they've been pretty aggressive, but for the most part, they're a team that plays the map a bit more methodically, trying to find openings and gaps to abuse against Sampi.
He goes to utility as well. Darber, Questone, they're going to be tested in. The Molotov comes forward. Questone dancing around it, playing still in it. Questone going to forward Uni, finds an opener, and Koja doubles it down. Easy side taking, a man advantage collected by Content Planet.
Well, yeah, that was interesting choice to try and go for the peak fight, which, if he gets a kill or two, that's a great move because no one expects it. On the other hand, with that flash on top, he would have just, even if he missed everything, he would have just burned to death in the molly because he just jumped into the molly, which is a bit of a strange move. And right now, Content Planet, they get themselves a site, even though they had a man disadvantage. They just walk in, get both the kills. And I must say that so far, utility hasn't been both teams' biggest strength.
No, it hasn't at all. The utility seems to be struggling a bit, doesn't it? I think that's quite an important factor when it comes to these sort of best of ones where, you don't really have a lot of room to work with in terms of long term. Haven't been working, but you've got to give the credit to Contemplate again. Nice entries on towards the site. They're winning the Angels, which is the important factor. And Sampi, they're being forced away. They're not getting any sort of map control. And maybe it's a question about seeing a little bit more CT side aggression from the Sampi side, because the lack of map control is leading them just to being picked apart on the sites.
Well, early util in towards Banana. Need to be careful, but it looks like they want to go for a boost against the boost, and System goes for the peak. Loses out that fight, taken down. Well, at least get some damage on towards Koja, but the man advantage for Contact Planet, and honestly, they're looking pretty good on that T side. I mean, both these teams have had some questionable rounds in this series so far, which is saying something considering we're 6 rounds in. But personally, I do think that Content Planet look a little bit better in their methodical play style.
I agree. I think they look a little bit sharper. They seem to be the ones who are sort of dictating in the moment their tempo. They seem to be in control. Missed shot, though. Zero's going to be punished, surely. Fighting to stay alive, in fact. One by one, they're running their way forward into trade one apiece. Rutko and Uni will at least find something. But how Zero stayed alive for that long, I don't know.
Just trying to stay in the corner, jumping about the entire time as well. Right now, they are rotating towards the A bomb site, but Questone is joining his teammates soon enough. Time is of the essence, though, 25 seconds, and we've seen Content Planet run down the clock a little bit too much previously as well. Okay, Darber just gets mollied by his own teammate. That is very... I mean, utility really isn't these teams' friends, because that molly gives away his teammate's position as well. Questo gets overwhelmed on the site. This just... I mean, that molly actually just gave away his position and forced him out into the open. It's literally the reason they lost the round.
That's brutal. He had that sort of that air of unknown about him, and the fact that, of course, the sound cue is enough and the damage on top of it leaves Content Planet, may I say, and now once again regaining this lead. 4-3 on the scoreline, and all Rutko can do is just fall away, orb in hand. He's managed to find himself 1 kill, and the question is about whether he can stay alive now. He's posted up with the orb, so I think for the most part he should be okay, unless somewhat of a ridiculous shot gets pulled off here. But Content Planet find 4, and that's a rookie error, DK.
Yeah, that's a big ol' whiff. I mean, I get where he came from. He wanted to throw the molly towards short, which, granted, would have been great to keep the T's from going for the plant. The problem is he didn't throw far enough. I mean, you got to train those arms. You got to get in that pitcher sense, even though I don't love baseball. But you need to at least be able to yeet it all the way in the back and not toss it right on top of your ally. That's a just... I mean... I've talked about these teams struggling a little bit with utility, and that definitely shows exactly what's going on. Content Planet, this time they pull off a different trick, rush down B and just straight up go for that bomb plant. Easy pickup this round for Content Planet. Don't really think Sampi can get much done, especially not that considering Rutko has an AWP and really does not want to lose it.
No, not at all. Of course, bomb planted, post-spawn set up. Nothing really Sampi can do here. Maybe send the pistols to go for, if they can, a couple of extra frags. Even that seems like a big ask, really. It's been so far one-way traffic for Content Planet in the last sort of few rounds. They've been in complete control, and Sampi, the initial couple of rounds they picked up are being pulled apart now. It's been completely only going one way. And questions have to start being asked to Sampi. They're on CT side, and they're just being dismantled. I said this earlier. They're getting no map control, no opening frags, and that's why Content Planet are in such a strong position and about to make it a flawless 5th round on the board here. Darby with 4. PG50 unable to convert anything. 5-3 scoreline, a 2-round lead.
And a lot of money on that T side as well, so they will be able to afford at least 2 buys going forward. That's not great for Sampi because the best rounds that they had was before they actually had AKs and the bunch all over the board for Content Planet. And right now, I mean, that op needs to find the opening pick. Just a quick peek, find the opener, fall back, play with the man advantage. So that your team at least has a little bit of a saving grace, but Zuri's almost burns and gets naded out of existence at the start of the round. A big death coming, well, a lot of damage coming through, but he's alive for the time being. I have seen that boost in... Yeah, that boost... This time it does pay off, but I've seen that boost go wrong every single time. Like, it almost always fails the 2-man boost and happens.
It never seems to work as sort of intended, right? It always has this sort of strong precedent about it, but of course when it comes down to it, never really falls into that strong position. And it's what we see them now with, well, again, the CT side in a man advantage.
Oh. The push coming out towards the B bomb site. And the T's in a 3 versus 3 take of the site. However, not checking all their angles makes it problematic. Rutko gets himself a double kill. They hold the line. Quick rotations and a 2-man advantage definitely does help them in their take of the site.
5-4. They made that deficit only to 1. It still feels slightly unconvincing, doesn't it, though? I think Sampi, while they are putting ever so slightly rounds on the board now, I still have to make the question of whether they're doing enough. On their CT side, again, they don't seem to have real control. And Content Planet, I guess, off the back of a failed sort of play, losing them that initial 2 players, that was the real difference maker. The opening kill seems to be so important, but there it is, the important kill found. Zerus finds 1, Libra dropped. And 5-4 already collected, and Sampi, well, back in that driver's position. They go for the aggressive peek, and it works.
That's what we want to see. The AWP actually finding the openers to make sure that that entire investment is worth it. Let's see if we can get a continuation going, though. Quick trade from Rutko comes out. Still a man advantage for the CT side, and with the rotation from Questone, they can hold B, though this is very dangerous. Going for the pop flash through, but doesn't check his backside. There's Uni waiting. And that's, of course, the big threat if you want to walk through a smoke. Questone wants to do the exact same thing. The bullets are very close. He gets himself a double, though, before he falls. So his gamble does pay off. And now it's all on to Rock in a 1v2. Take some time before the CTs reach him, but this should be definitely outplayable by Sampi, unless Rock goes for an absolutely massive double.
You would expect so, right? Rock is waiting for his opportunity. A 1 versus 2 needs something special here. Has got the bomb planted him as the utility floods forward. He's waiting for his opportunity. Trying to wait for the peek through the smoke. He's playing time to his essence. That's all he needs to do. Play for the time. They will expect him in towards Coffins now as they clear the site. But they're still to get on this bomb. Rock, he's waiting, holding. Will they clear him? No, they don't. Brilliant from Rock in 1 versus 2, and he connects. Content Planet take a 2-round lead once again off the back of a brilliant clutch situation.
I mean, that is nuts that Rock manages to clutch that round out. I mean, at the start of that round, he was on 1 kill. Now he's on 4, going for the 1v3 clutch, takes down Questone. And then afterwards, another double added on top. Big plays coming out from him, and right now, full investment from Sampi's side, which is going to be every penny they've got. And even a quick rush down mid will be successful. Rutko with the opener gets rid of Libra. Koja does trade out that kill immediately, but look at how far forward he is playing. So aggressive. And they have no idea. He's right behind them, gets himself a double. Big play coming out, Rutko. That MP9 rush is, I mean, that's something that Sampi also hasn't done so far, playing very aggressive on the CT side.
Yeah, the aggression on the CT is something I said earlier that I'd love to see from Sampi. It's something in which can really turn a map in your favor, and that's what we see. Again, getting early control, and I spoke about it, the map control is so important because they catch the T side off guard. They don't allow them to set up for these executes, and that's when Counterplan are in a strong position. Once they set themselves up and they're ready, that's when they can run away with things. The aggression denies any sort of case in that favor, and hence why they're now 5-6, one-round deficit.
Well, speaking of which, Content Planet, they've got themselves a round lead, but that might just be turned around into a tied scoreline. This game so far is looking a lot closer than the previous match that was played in this group. These two teams are not giving each other any angles or opportunities to push forward. Either they pull out a very fast play or they play a very defensive passive.
Spot on, right? And well, now of course, so far things looking good for Sampi. 5-4 in terms of the man advantage. Can be double down here. Darla talking about timing on the peak. Watch one. Doesn't want to overextend into it though. Knows he has the support from sight, but a smoke will be dropped to keep him alive for the time being.
They gotta be a little bit careful. The AWP trying to keep an eye on towards short, but the push comes out. Opener secured, and right now Zuris, he gets completely bamboozled by the fact the Content Planet already completely rushed on towards the site. And yeah, that was a wide peak that he never saw coming. In the back, Koja, beautiful peak and lineup against Rutko. Takes down another one of the CTs, putting it all onto Questone and System to save their guns. Of course, if they do, they're the only ones that couldn't afford in the next round anyway. And Questone's even going to go for that AWP, for that secondary that they were wielding for the time being. With the sound cue heard, it seems they know someone was towards market.
Yeah, they have a slight understanding, right? But the question is, I don't think they'll be able to hunt anymore. And Content Planet, they may be able to pick up one on towards System as they're sort of running towards him. It's all about when they see each other, System will find that shot. So that's okay. He stays alive, at least for the time being. Keeps that AK ticking across, which is the important thing. But again, Content Planet find another gap, and this 2-round gap seems to be the consistency between these two teams. It's very even, but Content Planet just ever so slightly further ahead. The question is, can they keep it going? Can they guarantee themselves a lead heading into that second half?
It's not going to be easy for any of these teams, especially considering the teams that they're going to have to be facing immediately afterwards as well. I mean, I don't know if I'd rather be in the winner or the losers match, because both those teams, well, definitely want to be in the winners match, but both teams seem to be fairly tough to beat. I mean, in my opinion, the favorite in the previous showdown actually dropped down towards the lower bracket.
Yeah, both teams in the upper and the lower bracket are dangerous, right? I mean, we didn't see the danger from Martin in that opener, but maybe they'll be able to warm themselves up ready for a second game. And if they get warmed up, they're a scary thought.
They definitely have a pretty solid roster as well. We'll see them after this game. I mean, I always love watching Holmes play ever since his Onyx days. Ooh, this is a nice off angle. No one really goes for this. No one expects this peak.
It's a rogue one. It's very high risk, high reward, though. That's the only thing. It's a one and done angle.
I mean, if you get peaked from Boiler, you could be in a tough spot. Oh,
there we go.
You gotta hit that shot if you want to make it work. And Questone picks up the AWP, falls back towards the site in time. Garber, though, trying to bail out his team in the round. Nade flying through, not going to be able to connect, and he's kind of stuck as well. The bomb will get planted, and it's a 3-on-2 retake. This is a very good shot for Sampi to get the advantage going, especially because they're coming from multiple directions. Oh, nicely done, Garber. Goes for the information peek, and Uni double peeked, one on top the other. No chance that he can win that fight with the amount of HP he had. And Sampi, you mentioned it, they're keeping this game very close.
Yeah, I would have taken something special there, I think, from Uni. 9 points of HP in a 1 versus 2, but that's actually really well played from Sampi. They knew they had the man advantage, so you may as well play it, right? Double swing into the close angles, clear all those positions, and of course, on the back of that, play the trades. But I said about that one and done angle, that's where it becomes done, right? And missed shots easily punished because you can't fall off in time. You can't fall away to safety like you can with other positions where you can, slink behind a wall or whatnot. It's risky, high risk, high reward, and in that time, the risk was greater. Hence why we're now seeing a 6-7 on the scoreline, but Zurus opens up brilliantly, returns the favor, and Code just dropped.
Yeah, that's a very nice early pickup. Again, Zuris, I mean, the last couple of rounds, he's been able to find that opening pick with the AWP, and that's pretty much why you buy that big, heavy gun. But currently, as you can see, I mean, Rutko, he's 14-4, Questone 12-9. Those two players really standing out on the side of Sampi. Push comes out, though. Darber staying hidden currently, but the Tech-9's close range, trying to find the fight. Not really... Finally, yeah, I mean, they were on site. There was an op hidden on site, and they were just focused on trying to find that one rifle. That could have been
they were
so
focusing
much better
looking
for
it.
Planet.
Yeah, that was an opportunity for them as well. They were in a strong position where they could have played the trades, but they didn't, right? They sort of were focused, as you mentioned, sort of tunnel visioned, I guess you could say. And of course, because that, Sampi exposed it. 7-7 on the scoreline. And actually, when not as we expected it, looking like, to a degree, Sampi could run away with an 8-7 half in their favor when they were at one point looking really down and out for the count.
Well, quick attempt this time around does not seem to be paying off just yet. So we'll immediately fall back, but he doesn't lose his life either. So in the end, it's not the end of the world. Oh, a very heavy battle coming out. Okay. Trading blows. And right now, Questone is reigning supreme in that engagement with a man advantage on the Sampi side. However, they have two very wounded CTs that need to be fairly careful. Luckily enough, there is no HE left on the T side. Just 2 smokes and 1 flash. Considering Sampi's utility themselves, they have a solid advantage in the round if they use it correctly and, don't molly their own teammates.
Yeah, molly their own teammates, I think, is definitely one not to do, without a shadow of a doubt, but that big Junie finds one. Rutko unable to deliver the orb. He's got a huge hit, finds the first. Train alive, no scope doesn't connect, and well, that leaves now Junie all alone. 1 versus 2. The CT side just need to play the man advantage once again, and of course, that low HP on Junie makes it all the more difficult.
If he can find that quick first, he could, of course, try and gain the advantage going forward. But it looks like with no time left, 10 seconds, it's do or die. And it seems it's going to be the latter. 8-7, as close as can be. But Sampi, they managed to take back the lead over Content Planet. Of course, start off the side that they chose with a bang.
8-7. Sampi in a strong position. Can they keep it going on their T side of the big question? They were a slow starter. I think a bit of a slow burner. But they now seem to be in a real strong position. Their control is in their favor. And they're warmed up in the server. If they get this pistol under their belt, start the momentum early doors in towards the second half, they could run away with this.
And, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any team is going to run away with this. They're playing so much on equal terms. These two teams, I mean, 2 sides of the same coin pretty much with how they're playing. Like, they've got very similar play styles and sometimes aggressive, sometimes very passive. most of the time more of a passive setup in their approach. But let's see if the T side of Sampi can be a different tale, or if it will be a continuation of pretty much what we've been seeing so far. Flashes, utility coming out to push towards the site, and a lot of spam through puts the T's in an awkward position. However, they managed to still find the quick trade, going for the bomb plant. Questone, I mean, a couple of shots on his little tippy toes through the coffins ain't gonna hurt him much. And the retake is going to be necessary for the CT side, considering they don't have a kit. Time is of the essence.
Yes, and the nice flash coming through though. Questone completely unable to find anything. And it's all down to the 2 here. It's now make that 1 system low on HP, 1 versus 2, unable to convert. And that's a nice retake. Content Planet tie this game up once again. And then, again, we speak about using the man advantage, but it's the utility is another huge factor there. Content Planet flashed themselves in towards that site, and full blind, the T side couldn't do a thing. 8-8 in the scoreline, and Sampi, that momentum that seemed to be so prevalent after that first half is sort of diminished more or less immediately.
Yeah, that's, I mean, Libra getting that triple kill, of course, definitely does tend to help. But Sampi, they got themselves the bomb plant in, and as you can see, 2 AKs, 2 Deagles, and a Galil. That's definitely a better buy than Content Planet, who are playing with 2 MP9s and a Swag 7 in the server. That's not the greatest buy for the CT side.
So far, not so good. Of course, utility again, trying to get this banana control. It's a prime place to go. And that bomb plant that previous round allows them a strong-ish buy. I say ish because, of course, the double AKs are coming out, but they're only supported by double Eagle and that 1 Galil. It can be slightly overextended. MP9, close range is so deadly, and that's why Rock finds a brilliant double. But he drops MP9. He drops MP9, he gets punished for it. The site is theirs.
Yeah, he wanted to upgrade his gun, or at least get something that actually had bullets in it. The problem was, it was a pistol, so he had to drop first his gun, then his pistol to pick up the gun on the ground, and somehow they had a 2-man advantage. And now all of a sudden it ends in, well, it is a 2v2. The gun barrel sticks out. They almost line up, but there's the Max 7 running forward, swapping over towards the scout. Libra in a 1v1 against Rutko, and Rutko's going for the flank play. Libra, however, going for the full 10-second defuse? Really? That is... okay, that's an interesting choice. And the round secured for Sampi, who immediately force up, and they managed to get it done, even though they did start off that take pretty problematic.
Problematic, I think, is a light term. It was just not working out at all, wasn't it? Of course, the 10-second defuse as well, very risky to try and go for. Might have been better to go for the tap and peek, but the thing I guess he's trying to do is catch them off guard and try and say, you know, you wouldn't normally expect the 10-second defuse to work in any case there. So while they try it, Questo, nice entry, Koja dropped. CT side already at that man disadvantage of Content Planet with that low buy, are forced to scurry back towards the site.
Yeah, that's a nice opening pick. That's not a nice gun, MP5. But regardless, Questone, Galil comes in, gets himself a second in the round. 2 CTs more towards the boost position. Gotta check the angle. System does eventually quickly recover and find the trade, but it's Elus with the CZ and Libra with the scout. All that they've got left, rushing forward. Gotta defend your bomb planter. Nonetheless, the round secured for Sampi, forcing Content Planet on towards an eco, and they break double digits, finally getting themselves back in control of this game and taking themselves on a 2-round lead.
That's the big factor, I think, as well. Double digits is so huge when you talk about momentum. Sort of sending yourself forward and propelling yourself. That momentum can be everything once you hit double digits mark. It's sort of a little bit of pressure off your shoulders. Something which is going to start playing on Content Planet. As you mentioned, that eco coming forward now, just a full USP buy. And that full USP seems to be finding the way down mid. In comes the nade, and the Mac 10 holding, finding not even one. It's on his system just by one, but from behind. It's a quick cleanup. Uni only picking himself up 1 consolation kill, and for Content Planet with that low buy, they wanted to try and make it as expensive as possible, but it's not going to be the case.
Yeah, only 1 kill secured, so this T siding too bad, economically speaking. Libra again going for his Mag 7, which is surprising considering he buys full utility and still has $1,400 left. Wait, how much is Mag 7 again?
1.3? I want to say. I can't remember if that's on my head. Is it 1.3?
He could get a FAMAS. Or, yeah, definitely a FAMAS. He could also buy an extra kit. I don't really... Okay. No, never mind. I mean, if you're going to be playing in the JW angle, it's a definitely dangerous weapon to use. A quick rush out towards long, though. They're going to go for the flank play, rotate around. Now Libra in a small pit. Long range P250, not the greatest gun from that position. And on site, System just plays peekaboo. And he absolutely destroys. They push towards the site. They get the bomb plant in. Juni in a 1v3. This is problematic because if he loses around here, forces his team on towards an eco. And at that point, it might just be 13-8, where that means that this round and this map could go in favor of Sampi very quickly.
It could do. Juni trying to find something. In a 1 versus 2, though, needs to isolate brilliantly here. And this is going to be tough as he's dancing his way forward. Finds the first, but now, of course, all System has to do is just stay alive in his position. Bomb tapped, tapping away as well. He's not going to be able to pull it off. System wins it out in the 1 versus 1, clutches it through, and just like that, Sampi's post plant worked brilliantly. 12-8, a 4-round lead. And Sampi getting ever closer to the all-elusive 16 now.
Getting closer and closer. And they're finally getting themselves some... I mean, some of these moves as well. Pushing just towards the side, picking the angle. Immediate headshot coming in. Does look pretty nice with those AKs in hand. And Content Planet not really playing any aggressive holds for most of the time. They went for a mid play previously, but that's about it. They've just been passively holding their angles. If you've got AKs against you that are checking those angles, it is easy pickings though. Koja tries to find an opener towards Banana, but he just gets easily dealt with by Darper. They quickly rotate the player around. System doesn't check his angles completely. That's going to be loose, picking up an M4A1S. Well, in the meantime, the B-bomb site is lost. Juni, though, spots him crossing in, but won't be able to find a single tag, and right now that bomb should go down pretty easily. Actually, we'll be able to get the full plant, and the retake is going to be absolutely destroyed. They lose 1v4. Can't really do anything considering he only has a single smoke. Oh, makes it a bit more costly, but honestly, at that point, saving the M4 is the most value you can gain.
Yeah, he found himself one for the smoke. It looked like there was maybe ever so slightly a bit of potential, but that potential didn't amount to anything, unfortunately. And just like that, 13-8. They're pulling so far away now. We mentioned that Sampi had this potential to do this. If they go off to a flying start, when it came into the second half, they'd run away with this. And, well, that's what we're starting to see with, unfortunately, Content Planet not finding any sort of stable footing. At least they'll be able to pick up a buy. And, of course, that buy does include a double orb setup.
A lot of mollies wasted in the smokes. That's a lot of I think I heard 3 mollies just go rip the money. But right now, I mean, early utility thrown out, but no damage taken on the T side means they pretty much win that utility wars. And they also still have a lot more to toss over against their opponents.
Yeah, tempo slowed nicely as well by Sampi. They don't really need to do anything too overzealous. They're just waiting for an opportunity, but a utility coming forward as well. Smoking as well will keep Koja at bay, but Grezstone just walks right into his scope.
And don't gotta feed that AWP. Again, both sides, only really the CT ops coming in. Alus getting himself a kill as well. Double op is looking pretty nutty. And right now, so is Content Planet. Juni getting himself a double on that mid-cross holds it down. That's a nice take for Content Planet, but they're 4 rounds behind.
4 rounds behind. It's a good start at the very least, but this consistency needs to carry on. 13-9. Sampi ever closer. You know, of course, that you'll lose to 16. This is the best of 1. There's no second chances here. No way of putting off the reverse sweep. So Contemplate, it's now or never if they want to move into that upper bracket and give themselves that favourable opportunity against Sacramento. Sampi are getting closer. And of course, for Sampi, it's a full buy. But Koji has a brilliant start. System dropped immediately.
It seems that double op setup might just be the way to turn it around for them. And currently, can the rest of Sampi try and recover? They've got the op trained and ready, but Koja, he's looking for the duel against Darber. Give me an angle, and he takes it. Another kill picked up. They immediately smoke it off. Utility as well to back it up. But they want to just run through the smoke. No fear whatsoever. On towards the side. They get taken down. Uni even spots Zuri's gun barrel sticking out. Questone all alone, and the economy of Sampi is actually not looking good enough for another buy. So now Content Planet on double digits, and they're closing that gap.
13-10. They've hit the double-digit mark. We said how important it was. The question is, can they keep up that consistency? That's something that's sort of plagued Content Planet at the moment. They've been really good at times where they've controlled and farmed everything. Of course, the Orb doing a brilliant job start there, but can they keep this up? The thing that's sort of concerning now, if you look over towards the likes of Sampi, is they're consistently giving away that opening kill. Of course, now that economy is broken, so a low buy all the same. Maybe something aggressive to come out, but when it comes to their full buys, to give away that opening kill time and time again is a big problem looking forward.
3 rounds still puts them apart, though, but Sampi are also 3 rounds away from securing the win. Again, Alus now with the AWP ready. That double op setup so far has been a big game changer. They managed to get themselves mid-control, however. The Molly keeps the T's at bay. Alus even, I mean, this is pretty dangerous. They throw one pop flash run through, you're done for, especially if a Tech 9 is rushing you down. It's not the greatest buy for the T side, considering systems even on a full-on Glock. They're trying to go for a run boost shenanigan play. Still bait and switch coming out. Rutko with the Deagle chiming in. Elus instead going for the AK because he knows what's coming through, but the pistols reign supreme. A Glock takes him out of the equation. And a 2-on-3 retake of that A bomb site. How did this go wrong, Neo?
How did it go wrong is the brilliant question. And Content Planet now, in a man disadvantage trying to make the retake work. Oh no, Zurus in behind. I thought he was tempted to go for the knife there, but Junie unable to pull off anything. And they've somehow thrown that one away. They had the significantly better buy, but the Glocks caused all the problems. Sampi find 14, save all the weapons, and well, Content Planet, I mean, they are in not the strongest position with Sampi 2 rounds away.
Yeah, that's well, another technical pause coming in, though. Hopefully this one won't take as long. And Sampi are playing with a double op. Okay, no, they toss one op out of the map instead of going for a double op T-side setup on Inferno, which would be very surprising if they actually went for it. But just trying to yeet it out. Rutko, I mean, he did some great things. 2 kills with the Deagle entries. The remainder of the CTs get I mean, this was a very painful round to lose. And it mainly comes down to, I mean, you don't want to point any fingers, but there were a lot of op shots missed.
Yeah, and I think a big thing as well, of course, the critical shots missed was a big factor, but there seemed to be a big amount of miscommunication, right? You know, Content Planet, they were sort of stuck in no man's land a lot of the time, and Sampi were able to expose that, finding those kills when they probably most definitely shouldn't have, and now 14 rounds collected, but somehow the double CTs managed to make their way forward. Bridge going to be contested, and Rock having to fall away back onto the site.
Well, it's looking like quick early banana aggression might be the case for Sampi. Took a little bit of tickle damage, but with the rotation coming out from Uni might be a problem here. However, they get themselves tight control, a bit of a spray from Rock. It's heavy tags onto Rutko and manages to fall back in time, but with the bomb plant, looks like a 5-on-5 retake's going to be the case. The CTs, they did do a ton of early damage, but they just use almost all their util left. They've got 1 smoke, 2 flashes on the CT side. And there's 2 mollies and a nade for the terrorists. So the push might just be a little bit problematic. Ooh, peekaboo is the name of the game. And the kills are all in favor of the terrorist side. Rock and Uni, 2 CTs left standing, trying to push further forward, but it's just easy picking. Sampi on map, and with that, of course, considering it's a best of 1 series point, it looks very likely that this will be a Sampi win.
Yeah, we'll call it a series point, but yeah, as you mentioned, 15-10. Content Planet, they seem to have just be a shadow of their former selves, really. They've fallen a little bit flat, and now in this position, questions have to really start being asked. They were at one point in complete control of this best of 1, and not really looking like it anymore. 15-10, Sampi so close, and well, to make matters even worse, Libra's only got a CZ.
It's not the... I mean, to be fair, depending on who wields it, it could be an absolutely godlike gun, but it's not the greatest weapon to have in a situation like this. And they're going to go for a quick pop flash, banana control, push forward. If they manage to take down Koja. Oh my lord, what's happening? He still finds a kill somehow. Everyone was flashed in that situation, but the bomb will go down. And now it's a 4-on-4 retake with well, the winners match on the line here. This is a do or die Content Planet, and they find themselves a way back in on towards that site. Will it be shut down right here and put them up in a very tough matchup going forward?
Yeah, Libra finding one on Twistone. At least that's a good stop. But Juris, what a brilliant shot. The post pass seems to be too strong as the utility comes forward. And there it is, Sampi 16-10 on the scoreline. A brilliant resurgence for them, because at one point they were looking down and out for the count. They were looking like they were being completely outplayed and outmaneuvered by their opponents, but they weren't able to avert, and it's just like that as Sampi, who are going to be joining Sacramento